a very dear friend of South Summit, Mario Alonso Puig, is opening our health and well-being track by hosting a discussion about disruption as innovation. And now we connect with Mario in El Retiro.
Hello, this is a great day. Let me introduce myself to all of you. I'm Mario Alonso Puig, currently the chairman of the Center for Health, Wellbeing and Happiness at IE University. I'm a medical doctor by profession, a general surgeon. And we all know that we're facing a very challenging situation that is having a very important impact in our health, in our relationships, in a sense of well-being, and of course in our economy. And today we're going to look at this challenge from a higher and wider perspective. Allow me to introduce all of you Begoña Villacís. She is an attorney and a politician. She's a member of Partido Ciudadanos and is currently the vice mayor of this beautiful city, Madrid. And last but not least, Iñaki Ereño. So the first thing that I would like to ask you, Begoña, is what do you think amazing about this city, Madrid?
Right now, everything is changing, as you say. And this is a big challenge that happened to the world, and it's the first time that the whole world is being betrayed by one thing, by a disease. It's affecting all of us. And so many things are changing right now, and some people are discovering things like that they didn't know before, like you can work, at your house. You don't have to go to your work every day. And maybe a lot of people find Madrid, like the best place to work at, where we have culture, where we have joy. I don't know. I think that if I have to choose, I've traveled a lot. The best place to live at, the place probably with the highest quality of life, I'll say it is Madrid.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Iñaki? What do you admire the most about this beautiful city?
Look, my roots are in the north of Spain, but look, I am a citizen of Madrid for the last many years. So look, I consider myself originally basically from Madrid. I normally tend to like the greeny places, so for example, this one, the place where we are, Retiro, is an amazing place. I love also Casa de Campo, so places where I can run, I can use my bicycle, but generally speaking, I love the city. Madrid is an amazing place to live, and it's a very welcoming, sympathetic, and a very comfortable place to be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And this challenge that we are living, I'm sure it has positive aspects, and I want to learn from your knowledge and experience, and how is it creating an impact in everything that has to do with entrepreneurship, innovation, disruption, in which way it's pushing forward this field of innovation and the field of entrepreneurship?
I think that this society took too many things for granted. We took too many things for granted. We thought that everything was more secure than it really was. Actually, I remember the first time the world was saying stay at home here in Madrid. It never happened before in democracy. We never, limited freedom, before. So it was a huge decision. I remember that afternoon I was talking to the mayor, and we didn't know how society was going to react. So we came out to the press and say that we had to ask the people to stay at home, right? And for the first time, so many things that people, including me, for example, took for granted, like seeing their friends, like going out, like enjoying the streets, that disappeared. So everything changed, and then we realized that we had an opportunity, because even in those times, you can find opportunities. So we had the people thinking and making up ideas, and in these times is where you realize that you had to change everything, and the innovation is the only key, to get out of this situation. So I think solidarity and have people thinking how to improve the world, how to improve the city, was how how it worked for us, for example.
So it's important what you're saying, because there are so many people who start blaming other people or who start complaining about everything. But a group of committed people decided to look for solutions, to look for the silver lining and see what they could do in order to overcome this challenge. Okay, what about you, Yankee? What do you think?
Mario, I think one of the implications of COVID is that COVID has brought the next 5 years into now. So everything has accelerated. So all of the processes that we were getting ready to, they need to happen now. So in relation to health, there are two main implications. So first one is that we have realized that probably the health assets that we have are not enough. So we need to renew all of that, and I think that's a space for innovation, a huge one. And the second one is how we digitalize the way we provide health to our citizens. And I'm thinking on tools like video consultation on the mobile phone or domiciliary hospitalization, and we need them now.
So, when we face such a huge challenge like this COVID-19 pandemic, many people feel that there are not any good news, that everything is bad, that everything is dark, that everything is hell. What are the lessons that we have learned from this situation?
Well, I think the humanity needs to be more humble, because the first lesson actually is that this can happen.
This can happen, yeah.
Because this never happened before. And we don't know really what's going to be the next challenge. And we need to work together globally. Of course, we need to find ways to accelerate network working globally, and we need to work together politically as well. You probably don't have all the solutions, and then the one in front of you probably have good solutions as well. We have a problem with trust right now. We need to build that again, and I'm sure we're going to be able to. And the human lesson is that, these people that that are around you, your family, your friends, don't take anything for granted. So that's the biggest lesson of that we learned this because of COVID-19.
Big challenges, and if we don't learn from this, we will have a much harder test, a much harder challenge in the future. So what have we learned from this?
This is going to happen again. If we consider this as a hypothesis, I think there are a lot of learnings that a lot of positives that COVID is coming with. We need to make sure that we move from ideas to action. So let's not spend time in useless discussions. What do I mean by a useless discussion? For example, let me go to my own space of health, whether it is public health, private health, those are useless discussions. We all need to have good health. Whether it is coming from the public way or the private health, or the private side, that's another implication. Also, there are implications on the type of people, the type of executives, the type of politicians that we need. People that are futuristics, people that are designers of the future, architects of the future, people with a technological background also to understand how we can use technology to improve the world. But again, we need to move from ideas to action, and if we do that, I think we will have a much better future.
Dr. Cosgrove, who is considered one of the best heart surgeons in the world, said that the difference between a mistake and a failure is that a failure is when you never learn from a mistake. Can you send a positive message to the people?
Well, I do understand that some people cannot see the positive right now, because we have so many people that are right now they're scared, but everything will pass. I used to have an aunt that would say that, he used to always say that it's going to be a year away from this moment. We're going to have a stronger society, so we better be ready, and we're going to be more ready for the next time. Madrid was the city with the highest expectancy of life of Europe. I don't know what we do, but the humanity, lives better here, and we live longer here, and we live better here. So, with all those things, I think that Madrid is going to be able to compete very well. In fact, when people decide where they want to work. And maybe the answer is Madrid, why not?
I think that, look, no question, the situation is tough, as Begoña was saying. I mean, it's no question. Okay, so we need to keep insisting on the measurements, of containment of the COVID. But I think there's an excessive alarm, and we need to reduce the alarm and allow people. There's a big suffering in terms of mental health. There's a big suffering also in the economic consequences of all of this to the citizens. So we need now to focus on that space and give less alarmistic messages to people around COVID.
Fear can cause a lot of not only suffering, but also it can be a cause of disease by itself. So I want to thank both of you for this amazing conversation. We acknowledge the challenge, but we also acknowledge that when we really cooperate, when we work together, when we set aside our differences and really see the good in other people, we can really become a very resilient society. We can grow as human beings, we can evolve, and when we look backwards, I'm sure we'll be proud of how this country, how these people, how people in Madrid really fought against the disease and how much we learned. And because of that, despite the suffering, despite the pain, we have grown as human beings. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to you. Thank you, Begoña.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a huge thank you to Mario Alonso and Retiro for leading that very important conversation. We appreciate these difficult times, and we really appreciate you and your guests making the time to discuss them.